Hello, welcome to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus and I'm so glad you're here today. If this is your first time, this is a podcast about joy, fulfillment, and well being in work, business, life, and creativity. Yesterday, after a really long time, I conducted an online workshop. It was a mini class. I usually like small group sessions, because it's so cozy and all the participants can interact and get to know each other. It's kind of like building a little community. The workshop was a very simple topic. I zeroed in on one specific subtopic in all the different things that I teach. And it was about how to run a vegan pop up meal event. It was a lot of fun. The participants came and we interacted with each other. I was able to teach, and then we did some practical exercises. And as always, I start my workshops with some kind of a meditation and visualization. So we did that also. I felt so good. At the end of the workshop, when I'd closed the computer, I was feeling really uplifted, energized. Teaching workshops really lights me up. Yet, it had been several years since I hosted a workshop like this at all. I did a bunch of them during 2020 and 2021, but after that, for some reason, I just didn't hold these events. Something or the other came up, and most of the time, I was overthinking it, overcomplicating the topics, and all of that. Somehow, I just never got around to it. But this year's been a bit of a roller coaster. Jan, Feb, the beginnings of both the months were a bit crazy. And somehow I felt like, I can't just keep waiting around for things to fall into place, to do something big. Like I always have these ideas. I want to create a course or run a mastermind group or do a retreat. I've done all these things, but all of them take work. However, I attended somebody's mini workshop. They called it a mini coaching session, mini coach or whatever, mini teach. Yeah, so that teacher called it a mini teach. And she did just a half an hour workshop. And it was nice. And I was like, hey, this is a nice idea. I can do something small. Of course, 30 minutes would be too short, too mini. So I thought, okay, let's make it a 1 hour session, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the questions that the participants have. So I quickly, without overthinking, I quickly wrote up points of what I'll teach in the workshop, what it's about, and I just put it out there. I put a page on my website, and then I posted it on my newsletter, and then on Instagram. After that, newsletter always gets first priority. And since these are, they have a small capacity, I only take a small group for the live event. Of course, as many people as whoever wants can purchase the recording to watch later. But for the live attendance, there's only a certain number of seats. So I prioritized my newsletter. So I posted there first. And then after that, I posted on Instagram and within my circles and everything. And a couple of people signed up. It was nice. I felt so happy and so fulfilled for getting the opportunity to actually conduct this workshop. It was another reminder for me about how not to complicate things, not to overthink things. Laura Belgray, who I've spoken about, she's an author of the book Tough Titties, and she's also the founder of Talking Shrimp. She has all these amazing courses and all kinds of stuff. I follow her, and I pretty much own most of her courses and creations. I'm a diehard fan of Laura Belgray, and she says this thing. She's like, she calls it slap shit up. Slap shit up, as in just put something together, don't overthink it. Just even the smallest of things, just put a few things together and then just put it out into the world. So this workshop for me was like that. I just slapped it up together, took a zero, took laser focused on one small topic, put it together, and then just put it out into the world. Adam Schreibley of Podcasting Business School, he also does this. He conducts these workshops and these mini sessions. He teaches for about 20 minutes or so, and then there's a Q&A for another 20-25 minutes. It's a nice model that he has, and he does these, conducts these events. And same thing, he laser focuses on one very specific topic and covers that as a part of the session. So finally, somehow all these different teachers that I follow, it trickled down, that influenced those ideas. And then I'm like, okay, laser focused topic, I'm going to do this workshop. Whenever we announce a product, a service, a workshop, especially if you don't have momentum, it's been a long time and then you get back to it, you may not, if you think you're going to have a full house, you may not get a full house. But there will still be a few people who are seriously interested in learning from you. So for me, all these years, like ever since I even ran the restaurant, we used to do cooking classes till, during the whole 2021 lockdown time when I did my classes. I never think, okay, I need a minimum number of students. Even if one person comes, I'm happy to run the session. It's always worth it because it feels so good for me. And that's why it's important to choose a topic that you will be happy teaching about, and also keep it simple for yourself, because then you don't feel like, oh, I put so much effort. And then, there are only so many people who joined the workshop. So that is something important to remember, like if you want to teach a workshop. The second thing is there are topics which may seem very simple to you, but what is ordinary to you may seem like, wow, that is so interesting, I learned so much to somebody else. I was a bit nervous before teaching this workshop. I'm like, okay, what if I just teach things and they already know these, and what if they don't feel like they learned anything new or got any value out of it? And of course, as always, I was so wrong in thinking that, because they were so happy and they truly did feel like they learned something and they felt encouraged because of the visualization and I got really good feedback for the workshop. So again, don't second guess yourself, just do it. Just think of a topic, do it, and something may become very common to you because you've done it for years or you've learnt about it for years. But for somebody who's starting just now, who hasn't even started yet, it is the most valuable information. Thirdly, people may inquire. They may ask you questions. They may even say, hey, yes, I love this, I'm going to sign up for this workshop. And then later, radio silence. Nothing. You don't hear from them at all. That is something that commonly happens. And I want you to know that it's not something you should be taking personally. If somebody says they're going to sign up for a workshop or a course or a product or service, and they ask some questions and then they finally don't sign up for it, it's not something for you to feel bad about or take personally. It's a common thing that happens. There are many reasons. Firstly, it could be that there's something going on in this person's life at that time, or they are not able to purchase whatever it is they genuinely did want to purchase. Or it could be that they were being wishful, that they do want to be a part of it, or they do want to buy it. Maybe they can't, but because they believe that that maybe at some point they're asking you all these questions and telling you, yeah, I'm going to be a part of it, or I'm going to buy this. It's something to do with them and not really have to do with you. Or it could be that after radio silence, somewhere in the last minute, somebody will actually join, who you thought, okay, fine, they asked all these questions, they but finally nothing, I don't hear from them, but actually they may join in the last minute. So all these kinds of things happen. Don't take it personally. Always believe this, always trust that you are attracting the right ideal people for you, when when you maintain your good energy, good, loving, compassionate, kind energy, and always be kind to everybody whoever contacts you. Of course, keep your boundaries. People can't contact you at all hours, right? So you keep that layer between yourself and your audience, your clients, your customers. But ultimately, always be nice to people, because you don't know what their interest is. Whether if they say one time that, oh, I want to sign up for this, and they don't, but the next time they come back for the next event or workshop or product launch or whatever, and they say that I want this, you still be equally nice to them. Just answer their questions or whatever. You may put information out there, write all the details of, this is the way you do it, this is the way you sign up, go here, pay this, register here. You may have taken the effort to clearly write everything, but always remember that everyone doesn't read everything. And just because you've said it once, say in one email or one Instagram post, doesn't mean that the people reading the second email or the second Instagram post already know what you spoke about in the first email. Don't assume that. So don't hesitate to repeat things, clarify things. And also, if somebody, even though you've written it, if somebody asks you a question, don't get upset and say, oh, I've written everything, why are they asking me? This is something I used to do before. I didn't have too much of patience. I used to get upset. I'm like, I've just written their link in bio. Why is somebody asking me, how do I sign up when I've already written it? But then I learned this from, again, one of my friend and one of my mentors, Shailaja. I've even interviewed her on this podcast a couple of times, actually. And she speaks about, be nice. What? If they're asking questions, they're asking, you answer them. Why should you get upset about it? It's okay, even if you've written it. People are busy. People have different attention spans. Whatever it is, if they are interested, they are asking you, they're reaching out to you. So take that as a good thing and then respond to them. So ever since then, I became so much more patient. um, there was this one workshop that I did about eliminating your mistakes while making dairy alternatives. It was a theoretical workshop that I did, I think, in 2021. And when I did that workshop, there was this lady. I'd written all the details, and this was before I was, I was under Shailaja's influence, or maybe just getting into it. So I'd written all these details, and still she messaged me saying, how do I register, where do I register? I kept asking these questions. I did get annoyed, but I thought, okay, let me just answer, let me just tell her. I used to be under the belief, because this used to happen a lot in my earlier business at the restaurant, where people ask too many questions, and even when there's clarity that you put out there, it means that maybe they're not the right people for you, or maybe they're simply asking questions for the sake of it. Like maybe they want to interact with you, for that reason. So I had that impression in my mind. But anyway, I shared the link with her. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I had no expectations out of this lady who I was like, oh, she can't even read whatever details I've written. Then why is she, I don't think she'll sign up for the class. But not only did she sign up for that workshop, she passed it on to another friend, and that lady also joined the workshop. Just imagine, okay? So there were two participants from her side, plus, of course, other participants. And this friend who joined through this first lady, she had her video on the whole time, and she was smiling and laughing at my jokes, and she was nodding when I was teaching. She was so she was a person I kept looking at throughout the time I was teaching the workshop, and I was feeding off that energy, of that response, of that smile, and I felt more confident to teach. I felt more confident to crack my jokes, so that lady really made that the energy of the workshop. It's thanks to that lady, it was so much higher. It was so good. That was the first online workshop I had done at that time. I hadn't done those before. So it was kind of amazing. So imagine if I'd ignored this first lady, if I'd been rude to her or whatever, because she kept asking questions again and again for things that I'd already written, I would have lost out on that energy. So be patient. Just I'm talking about all these things because I had such a good time in yesterday's workshop. I just thought I shouldn't hesitate. I should do these more often. And if you've been thinking of doing something more often, putting things out there, then you too, you can simplify. You can be patient. You can be kind. Keep all these things in mind, and I hope it inspired you to slap shit up, like Laura says. And yes, through the rest of this year, I do intend to do many more mini sessions like this on various topics. Some would be related to business or cooking or veganism. Some will be related to spirituality and meditation, multi-passionate living, all the areas of my interest and experience. I'm just going to teach them, just laser focused, small topics, mini workshops, small group coaching, keep them at a lower price point also, and also have the videos available for a lifetime access. So if you're interested to find out more about my upcoming workshops, then sign up for my newsletter if you're not already on it. It's called the Feel Good Tribe. Go to veganosaurus.com/newsletter. The link is in the show notes, and sign up. I'd love to have you in the tribe. You're going to get a confirmation email when you sign up. You'll have to hit confirm, only then you'll get signed up. Then you'll get a welcome email. Reply to that welcome email. I'd love to get to know you. I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, and I'll tell you. Of course, I share a lot of tips and stories and lots of other good things on the newsletter. It's something I love a couple of times a month, once or twice a month. So come be on the newsletter, and maybe one of the workshops I do this year is something of that's going to be of interest to you. Even I'm going to cover topics that I cover on the podcast here, go a little deeper into them. All right, that's it for today. Talk to you again next week. This is the Feel Good Factor, and I'm so glad you were here today. Talk to you again. Take care. Bye.